Why didn't someone tell me that I was muted? I'll start again. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to LTL Cockerel International Break Predictions League competition results. Yes, it was a bumper week. We had 26 matches this week that we predicted. 26 matches. And from them 26 matches, we have got a whole load of different scores this week. Um, Let me start off by saying good afternoon to a few people. Colin Blackshaw, who's been a member for 16 months. Thank you for your support, Colin. Says good afternoon, Jose in chat. Good afternoon, mate. Daz was here, says big up Jose in chat. We'll watch back after. Got things to do for work tomorrow. No worries, Daz. I hope you're well, sir. I've said smash a like. They have been hard to come by recently. Yes, they have. It was hard. It's hard. It's hard. Lee Statham's here. Says hello, everyone. Good afternoon, Lee. Sir, I hope you are well. Carl's here. Says good afternoon, Jose, and everyone in the chat. Good afternoon, Carl. I hope you're well. Colin says I was on mute. I realised that afterwards. Archer says good afternoon, Jose, in chat. Good afternoon, Archer. Carl says I was lip reading. You said something about me getting given 100 points. Says Carl. And Chris Peters is here. Says hi, Jose. I hope I wasn't too late for my scores. No, you wasn't, Chris. You gave me one score too many, so I had to go in order from the games that hadn't started. And the last game, I managed to get all your scores in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 scores I got in for you, Chris, because there was only 12 games that you could predict on by the time you'd predicted. Hello, Neil. Hope you're well, mate. You didn't predict last week, Neil. Didn't get any of your predictions last week, mate. I'm just trying to see if I can find Chris Peters. Here's Chris Peters. Right, Chris, you predicted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. You predicted 14. No, you didn't get any in, Neil. You didn't predict anything at all last week, mate. Chris, you predicted 14 games, I think. And out of the 14 you predicted, I could only get you in for, well, you predicted 15, but 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's only 12 games that I could predict you on, Chris. So I put all 12 in for you, which got you some points. Right. Right, Neil, if you put them all in, I didn't receive them. I didn't get them on anything at all. So I haven't got anything to go by. Let me check, Neil. Let me check. I definitely didn't see anything from you this week, Neil. I will check for you. Let me check. I just need to make sure. Right. So I'm looking at it now. Because if you did get them in, as I said, Chris got them in quite late, and I managed to get Chris's in. Jack Spurs, I got his in. Nick, I got his in. I got Chris's in. I got Nita's and Ian's in. Coover, I can see there as well, who I got in. Vindaloo's is on there, and I got him in. And Ed M, I got Ed M in as well. So I've got everybody that predicted in that's on the stream. Sort by newest first. Right. So Chris Pitt. Oh, here we go. What does it say? Right, Neil, I can see them now, but you would have predicted. Oh no, hold on, Neil. You might have got them in time because yours says 2 days ago. Yours says 2 days ago. So Neil, I might be able to get yours in, but that means I won't be able to show you on screen what you got. Neil, let's try Neil. Saturday morning. Some of the games would have been finished. Some of the games started early. Yeah, some of the games started early. Right, let me go with this for the time being, Neil, and then what I'll do is I'll have a look and see what the score is with it. But Grind G's here says, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Ryan. Like, can I ask you then, guys? Let me ask you the question because we haven't done any others. All we did was bonus international. So I don't have to talk about fantasy. I don't have to talk about predict the Prem because all it was one competition that we did this week. So what I'm going to ask you is how many points do you guys think you scored? Why are my dogs going mad? How many points do you guys think you scored this week? Is what I'm going to ask. How many points do you guys think you scored this week? That's what I'm going to ask. How many points do you guys think you scored this week? Check it. I was just checking a lot of the scores. Got to the Waikeria game. Where's the Waikeria game? I can't. Oh, bloody hell. There's bloody loads more left after Waikeria. Colin B reckons he got 12. No, Colin B, you didn't get 12. Carl says you got 15. Carl did get 15. Go on, Carl. Carl did get 15. Archer says you got 16. Archer, you did. You scored 16. Right, I'm just looking at these scores. Anyone else scores? So far, we've got two people that predicted correctly. Colin didn't predicted 12. So it says he got 12, but he did not get 12. But I will check Colin B's again. Always do this. Colin B, there's a point there. I missed a point off Colin B. I found you another point, Colin. Colin, I found you another point. Neil says he would have scored around the 40 mark. Neil, I'm actually putting your scores in as we speak just to see because I don't know why I haven't seen yours. It doesn't give me a timestamp, but it does say that you put them in 2 days ago, which would have made it Saturday. Afternoon, Ed. How are you, mate? I hope you're well. 4-1. How many points do you think you scored this week, Ed? That's the question I'm asking. Right, as I update this now. 2 o'clock, you finished. Good afternoon, Drula. I hope you're well. Ed M and Drula, how many points do you think you guys scored this week? Is the question I'm asking the crowd. The gang. Right. Drula says that she thinks she scored 10 this week. And Drula scored. No, I ain't got Drula for 10. So what have I made a mistake? Let me have a quick look. No, Driller, you didn't score 10, unless I've counted this wrong. No, Driller, no 10 for you, I'm afraid. Who else have I got it? Edem says he hasn't got a clue, but he's going to be brave and say 15. Edem, you're brave, but you didn't score 15. You're brave, you didn't score 15. Driller, I will reveal. You know, I only let you have one go at this. All I've got to say is there are people that couldn't make the show last week. Graham's here, he's one of them. And they put a blanket score in, and the blanket score was shared by a fair few of you that did the same thing and all went for the same result. You write yours down. We can go through yours when I put them up on screen in a minute, Driller. Sorry, I'm just looking at these. 1 or 2, 1 or 2, 1. Pasting these ones as well. Right, Drula. Let's go to Drula in a second. Nil, 1, 3. Two nil, 1 nil. One nil, 2 nil, 0 3. Right, bear me a second. Down them to number 9. Put a border in, add a tape there. Right, I'm nearly with you guys. I'm nearly with you. Right, so that first game, second game, third game, fourth game, fourth game, Right. So Neil, just had a look. It's so difficult to say because a lot of these games would have finished. If you left it till 2 in the afternoon, then a lot of these games would have been finished by 2 in the afternoon. So, mate, I don't know what to, I can't take you scores for last week because I can't go back and work out which games would have been done and would have been completed by 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So I apologise in advance. It really is. I'm sorry. It's so difficult to ascertain what you would have done by 2 o'clock in the afternoon. But anyway, regardless of that, what we'll do is we carry on. So I'm asking people how many points they think they scored. Right, Drula, I'm going to go through yours to start with because you've got your pen right before I bring them up on the screen. I've got you right as 2-1 for the first game, and then in order, second game onwards, I've got you 2-1, 2-0, 1-2, 1-0, 1-2, 0-2, 3-1, 1-2, 2-1, 1-3, 2-0, 3-1, 1-0, 1-3, 2-1, 1-2, 2-0, 1-0, 1-2, 1-4, 1-2, 1-3, 3-0, 2-1, 2-0, 3-2. They're the scores I've got for you, Drula. But then I'll bring them up on the screen. Mr. Shear's here. Good afternoon. Good evening to you, Mr. Shear. Good evening. I hope you're well. Well, anyway, scores for last week are as follows. Has that worked? No. There. Right. These are the scores I have for last week. The first game between Godoy Cruz and Deportivo Riesta ended in a 1-1 draw. And the only person who predicted a 1-1 draw or any draw of any description in that first game was Chris Peters. And he picked up a green, so got 3 points. Game number 2 was River Plate versus Britannia. People were confused about this because it's not the River Plate that play in Argentina. This game was from Aruba, and it ended up being River 1, Britannia 2. And the correct scoreline came in from Archer, Jess, and Totspurs. Correctly predicted this. And anyone else that's got an orange predicted a away victory. Game number 3 was between Kufstein and Laterac, and in this game it ended up as a 1-1 draw, but only 2 people predicted 0-0 draws and picked up a point, and that was Ian and Jack Spurs. Game number 4 was Leader versus Baranovici, and in this game it ended up as Leader 1, Baranovici 2. Correct scoreline came in from Jess, Shemtam, Carl, Jack Spurs. Anybody else that's got an orange there predicted a Baranovici victory and therefore gained a point. Game number 5 was Dessel versus Lira Lies, and this ended up being a 5-2 home victory, which was a turn up for the books because the betting had an away win on this. So everybody that's got an orange there correctly predicted that Dessel would win this game, and nobody correctly predicted a 5-2. We then went to AS Sobermau versus Aspac, and this ended up being AS Sobermau 2, Aspac 1, and the correct scorelines came in from Jess, Shemtam, Ryan G, Graham, Nick, Ian, Cobber, Vindaloo, and Ed M. All correctly predicted the 2-1 scoreline. Anybody else in orange there predicted a home win and would have picked up a point. The next game was between the Boulevard Blazers versus Paget, and this ended up in a 2-2 draw. Nobody correctly predicted a 2-2 draw, but we had 4 people that correctly predicted a draw of some type and therefore picked up a point. We then went to Sporting Recife versus Flamengo, which ended up being Sporting Recife 1, Flamengo 5. Everyone in orange got a point for predicting an away victory for Flamengo, but nobody got the correct prediction. We then went to Yantra Gabrovo versus Dunaf Rose, and this ended up being a 0-1. So Yantra Gabrovo 0, Dunaf Rose 1. And the correct predictions for this one came in from Archer, Ronnie, Kuva, and Ed M all correctly predicted a 0-1 victory. Anyone else in orange predicted a away victory and got a point. The next game took us, don't know where it took us, but it was Etoile de Kivu versus AC Rangers. This ended up a 1-1 draw. Only one person predicted a draw, and it was the correct score at that, and that was Jack Spurs. So picking himself up the 3 points on the green. The next game was between Rudes and Jeroen. Again, a 1-1 draw. Again, only one person predicting the 1-1 draw and the only draw, and that was Nita, and she bagged herself 3 points. The next game we've got was between Benesov and Horovice, and it was Benesov 2, Horovice 0. Nobody predicted the correct scoreline there, but there's plenty of orange for plenty of people that went for the home victory. Then we went to, God, these names. Came between Nykobing, so the scoreline was Nykobing 2, Horusholm Asserod 1. And in this one, the correct predictions came in from Graham, Nick, the Cobber, and Ed M. All correctly predicted the 2-1 scoreline. Everybody else that's got an orange there predicted a home win and picked up a point. The next game was Kaltenkirchen versus Hyder SV, and this ended up in a meaty 3-3 draw. Nobody predicted 3-3, but 3 people predicted a draw in that game and picked up a point. The next game was Nordmark Satrap 0, Aishade 2. And the correct scorelines came in from yours truly, Ronnie, Ryan G, and Kuva. All correctly predicted the 0-2 scoreline. Anyone else in orange there predicted an away win. We then went to a shock for the week for me, which was Swederoo All Blacks 0, Hearts of Oak 0. This had Hearts of Oak winning this all over it, and the stats say that they should have won it, but they didn't. And Alan was the only one who correctly predicted a 1-1 scoreline and picked up a point. Everybody else went for either a home or an away victory in that game. We then moved on to Greece, where we had Payok B 1, Nikos Volos 6. And nobody correctly predicted the correct scoreline for this game, but those in orange correctly predicted an away victory. We then went to Korban Imperial 0, Malakateo 1. The only person who correctly predicted the scoreline was Colin B and picked himself up 3 points. Anybody else in orange there went for an away victory and picked up a point. We then went to Carfamoria 0, Wakria 1. Nobody predicted a scoreline in this correctly, but plenty of people went for the away victory and picked up a point. Then we have Budafaki 2, Soroskar 2. And in this, only 2 people predicted a draw and picked up a point each. No other points. Everyone else had gone for an away or a home victory. We then went to Italy, where we had Rimini 0, Ascoli 2. And in this, the correct prediction came in from yours truly, Jack Spurs and Ed M. correctly predicted the 0-2 scoreline. Anybody else that's picked the away scoreline picked up a point. Then we moved on to FC Gifu 2, Tokiji City 0. Nobody correctly predicted the scoreline in this game, but some people that predicted the home victory picked up a point. The next game that we went to was Neptuna's 0, Riterarii 0. A complete blank for everybody. Nobody predicted the correct scoreline, and nobody predicted a draw in this game. This was either home or away wins. In fact, yes, it's home or away wins, and nobody got a point for that at all. Nobody scored anything. And then we went to the next game, which was Alcaranes versus Cimarrones de Sonora, which ended up in a 1-1 draw. And the correct scoreline here was predicted by Ian Meth, picking up the 3 points, and Nita predicted a draw, so picked up a point. So well done to the only ones that scored points there. Penultimate game was Mohreb Tewan 2, Raja Beni Melal 0. Correct scorelines came in from yours truly, Drula, Jess, Colin B, Kuva. Correctly predicting that and getting greens. Anybody else in orange picked up a point for predicting the home victory. And the last game of the weekend that we predicted on was Eindhoven 3, Canberra 3. Everyone went for a home or away victory. This was stacked heavily in the away favour and in the odds before the game. But the only person who predicted a draw and got a point was Jack Spurs. Now, I see people are putting comments in, and I'm going to go and read the comments. Ryan G says 14-point stinker. Is that what you got, Ryan? Yeah, 14 points. Not a bad week. Sorry, I didn't do the averages, did I? The averages for this week are... The averages is 12.9. So 13 and above, you've had an above average week. So, you know, at the end of the day, Ryan, you've had an above average week compared to everybody else. There are a lot of draws this week. Yeah, draw-wise, there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 out of the 26 games were draws. Jess is here. Good afternoon, Jess. I wonder if she's put a comment. No, she hasn't put a comment in there, but Jess may see that she is the girl of the week or the lady of the week. Jess smashed it. Jess got 21 points. So Jess done it. Jess smashed it. So going along the points, Colin, you didn't score 7. You scored more, Colin. Colin, you didn't score 7. You've actually scored 11 because I found a point that I hadn't given you. You've actually got a point. Oh no, you actually got more. Hold on, Colin, you scored more. 6, 7, 10. 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10. Colin, you scored 13 this week. I owe you 3 points. So I'm going to change it on the table, but I owe you 3 points. And by giving you them 3 points, you actually move up a place, right? Sorry, I didn't put you down for it, Cole, but in the third game, you had the 1-1 draw. It was a correct prediction. So I've had to give you 3 points more than what you've got. It says 10 on the screen, but you've actually got 13 because the third game you've gone for 1-1, and that was a correct prediction. Yeah. So I missed you on the 1-1 draw. So I've done you. So yeah, so going back, does that change? That might change. Yeah, it does. The average is now 13. So 13 is the average. 14 makes you above. 13, you're average. 14 and above, you're above average. So this week's scores on the doors are Jose scored 18 points. Drula scored 9. Archer scored 16. Jess, Lady of the Week, 21 points. And the only person this week to break 20 points. Colin B, 13. Shem Tam, brilliant week for Shem. 16 points for Shem. Ronnie's had a good week, 16 points. Ryan G, 14 points. Tot Spurs, 16 points. Carl, 15 points. Kuva, an impressive 19 points this week for Coos. Alan scored 2. Alan, who did 3 predictions but was working, said he was going to come back and leave them in there, but didn't even leave his points in there. Right, Daz. The third game was a 1-1 draw. David, that there's a 1-1 draw the third game, and Daz didn't put down a 1-1 draw. Daz Reynolds has said 3-1. Get your eyes tested, son. No wonder you know nothing about cricket. You can't see. Right, sorry. Let's go back to Jack Spurs. Impressive, 16 points. Daz got 6. Graham scored 10. Nick scored 10. But Graham and Nick missed the show, so they both did 2-1 across the board, as did Cobber, did 2-1 across the board as well. So them three all scored, well, they all scored 10 points because they did an across the board. Nita scored 10 points without doing across the board. Ian scored 12 points. Like I said, Cobber scored 10. Vindaloo 14 this week. Ed M an impressive 19 this week as well. And Chris Peters scored 4 this week. It pays to be there or thereabouts on the shows, and obviously to get them in time for when before the games start. When you've got a predictions week like this week, although the games were played on Saturday, some were played before I even got up in the morning. Some would have been played in what would be Cobber's morning time, because they were early morning kickoffs. And some games didn't finish till the early hours of Sunday morning. I think the last game kicked off at 11:30 at night. So 23:30, the last game kicked off, whichever one it was. It kicked off at 23:30 at night. So the score didn't come through till early Sunday morning. I had to wait till Sunday morning for that score. I had all the rest of the scores in before I went to bed the night before. But or even early hours of the night before, because that's when I updated it, and then I had to update it again on Sunday. So yeah, so well done. So it has changed the table somewhat. Like a div, I haven't changed colours here, so you have to ignore. If you see any yellow, then ignore the yellow. It's because I didn't change, because nobody had changed, no places had changed. So anyone in green has moved up the table. Anyone in gold or orange, gold, whatever you want to call it, means that they've broken 100 points. We now have 24 people that have broken 100 points. But I'll bring up the table now. Archer says, injury time goal in that last game, River Plate game, gave me 3 points. That was lucky. Right. All these mouthfuls. Right. Let me go back and let me have a look. The league table then this week shows this. This is the league table this week. Colin B, you're above Nick. You're in 10th because I've given you your 3 points there. Puts you on 139. But I think overall you dropped this week. So I won't be changing the colour. But the movers and shakers this week in 24th place, Cobber scored 10 points this week, which makes him 101 points. So David Shear becomes a 24th player to break the 100-point barrier this season. Daz is mighty close there. He's 7 points off from breaking the 100. Wayne Bonner never took part this week. Paul G never took part this week. They're close to getting to 100. Ryan T didn't take part this week. Jack Spurs is the mover. Jack Spurs hasn't played for a while. He's the mover this week. He has gone up into 32nd place. And why haven't got him highlighted? Hold on, how many points? No, he's moved. He's into 32nd. So Jack should have been in green as well. But Jack Spurs has moved into 32nd. Further up the table, Carl has gone into 17th. Shem Tam has moved into 16th. Ed M has moved into 15th. Tot Spurs has moved into 13th. Kuva, with his big score this week, has flown up the table into 8th. And Jess, with a massive 21-point haul, has leapfrogged into 7th. Bearing in mind that the points are quite close between a lot of people around there, a really good week stretches you further out from everyone, and that's exactly what Jess has done. Ryan G remained in 6th, but on goal difference, i.e. one more correct score than Jess at the moment. Ian remained in 5th. Ronnie remained in 4th. Vindaloo remains in 3rd. Archer remains in 2nd. And yours truly still leads the way. And I think, did I beat Archer by a few points this week? Yeah, I've actually stretched my lead over Archer by 2 points because I scored 18 this week and Archer scored 16. So I've stretched my lead on Archer by 2 points. So I am 26 points ahead. So there's plenty of points to be had. There's plenty of games still to be played. But well done, everybody that took part this week. As I said, some of you did well by getting your scores in early and getting some good scores and made some productive moves, i.e. Jess. Jess made some productive moves this week. Jess is the one that smashed it this week. 21 points. Only person to break 21. Ed M, notable mention for Ed M and for Kuva. Both got 19 points, done really, really well this week. Yeah, Archer says Jose sets the bar very high. I don't know whether Archer. I think in the Premiership, if we did this only on Premiership points, which is kind of unfair. If we did this only on Premiership points, I would be clear at the top, a lot clearer than this. The actual thing about throwing in the international break ones is it gives everybody a chance. So people have picked up a lot of points during the international break. I've done well, don't get me wrong. I think there's been 3 international breaks and I've done all right in the international breaks. But a lot of people have done well in the international breaks. So, but yeah, I suppose the moral of the story is if you're here on time and you get your scores in on time, then your scores will count and they'll go on to the league table. So well done, everyone, for taking part. I think the next show, which I haven't bothered looking at yet, but game week 12. Yeah, I thought I'd done something wrong there, Ryan. Yeah, I thought I'd done something wrong there. But even if I did change that, you're still on the same points. Yeah, even if I do that, Ryan, you're on 19. I'll change you on 19. But even if I do the 19, Ryan, you're still on 145. If you look at it, you've got 88 and 57 points for getting correct scores, gives you 145. Yeah. So if you look at it, Ryan, 19 times 3 is 57, yeah? 57 and 88 still gives you 145. So I've changed it to reflect 19, but it still gives you 145. The scores are still 145. I forgot to put you up to 19, but it's still 145 you've got. Totspur says, hi, hello, Daz. Hope you're well, mate. Daz, you scored 16 points this week, mate. Right, Ian's got 63. No, Ian's got 21 correct, which at 3 points makes him 63. 63 and 84. Oh, yeah, 63 and 84 for Ian is 147. So top Spurs, Daz, you got 16 this week, which meant that you moved up the table. No, you moved up. Look, you've moved up to 13th, Daz. You're not crap. You've done. You had a decent week, 16 points. The average this week, Daz, was 13 points, and you scored 16. So yeah, you've jumped up into 13th place. Only Drewler's ahead of you by virtue of having some more correct predictions. But then you're 2 points behind Nick because Colin B should be on 139. But yeah, people made points this week. Some didn't, some did. You made up points this week on people. Right, I was going to check out what time if we are what we're doing. If we are what we're doing this week, right? This week is game week 12. Let me have a look. What's happening this week? I haven't even looked forward. I haven't even gone as far as this week. Right, scores and fixtures. 21st, there's a championship game. 22nd, I guess 7 games on the Saturday, 2 on the Sunday, 1 on the Monday. Right, so predictions this week will be on Friday at 4 p.m. Friday, 4 p.m. is the predictions for game week 12. First game will be 12:30 on Saturday, followed by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 3 o'clock games, and then a 5:30 game. I cheered you up, did I, Daz? I'm sure you got your family around you to cheer you up, mate. Yeah, so basically, thank you very much, everyone, and I will see you all on Friday at 4 o'clock for this week's predictions, and then we can take it from there. Just want to make sure that we're writing this. Okay, yeah, that's it. That's it. So yeah, I will see you on Friday for game week 12. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. Take care, and as always, come on, you Spurs.